Hello, Carrots here. Welcome to the Perfect Genetics Challenge, Generation 3, Episode 8. I'm starting to get used to this new house. We're going to have a birthday party here for baby Clara. Now, why is her cousin-in-law, Clark, holding her? It's not one of Clark's children. Clara belongs to Oliver and Poppy. Here's Poppy, that's his mother. I believe she's going to get to spin something and cheer. And there is her father, Oliver. He's just walked in there with the pink hair. Oliver's mother is our founder, Olivia. He is very much the younger of her children. And little Clara has inherited her grandfather Don's green skin. And I'm interested to see what she's going to look like when she spins into her toddler form. Because babies don't give much away, do they? Their appearance is still a mystery. With all the different skin and hair colours I've been giving my Sims in this game, I'm always very interested to see what their children turn out. And she has inherited Olivia and Oliver, their hair colour. She's got the pink hair. It'd be funny if she's got the pink eyes as well, because she can't be an heir because her mother is not the current heir who is having the babies for Generation 3. So I had a very close look. She did appear to me that she might have had the pink eyes. Her eyes look really dark. I think we're going to have to wait until she ages up to child to see her true eye colour. But I've had some very close looks at her, and I think her eyes are almost white. They're such a pale blue. But it's really hard to tell when she's just a toddler. I'll have to wait. I'll be anxious to see what she looks like when she ages up to child. Her father's eyes are dark, and her mother, Poppy, has blue eyes, so I guess she's inherited the eyes from her mother. And Poppy has dark hair, and she wears it with a bun on top of her head, which I think looks quite cute on her. And Poppy is an imaginary friend made real. She was Oliver's imaginary friend, and they got married as teens. And little Clara is a born-in-game imaginary friend, and she's got her own imaginary friend doll. There's a lot of imaginary friends in this game. And the teen helping her learn the xylophone is Eunice. And Eunice has inherited her father, Bill's, hair colour. And she is one of the 3 sets of twins that Cindy and Bill had. And Eunice's older sister, Donna, is the head of Generation 3. She was Cindy's heir, and Donna is having the babies for Generation 3. And she was at the party eating cake. Eunice's twin brother, Damien, is here as well somewhere. He's got pink hair and he also got pink eyes, and he could have been the heir if he hadn't had an older sister who already had been born with pink hair and eyes, and she'd already been nominated as the heir before he was even born. Now there's another little toddler in the house, and that is little Barry, and he's having problems with his imaginary friend doll that keeps going invisible and getting lost. Hope we catch up with it eventually. And that is Barry's father, Clark. He was the one that was holding little Clara when she was blowing out her candles to age up to toddler. Now, Barry is ready to age up to child, but I wanted him to stay a toddler for long enough to be able to become friends with Clara in the playpen while they're both toddlers. Now, little Barry is the eldest child of Donna and Clark, and he could have been the heir if only he'd been born with pink hair and pink eyes, but he wasn't. He's got his father's hair. I think he's got his father's eyes as well. His parents are just going to have to keep on having babies until they finally get one that has pink hair and pink eyes, just like their mother, Donna. But there is still some hope. Barry's got a baby sister, Diane, and Oliver has just put her in her cot. We're going to age Diane up later in the episode. Wonder if she's going to have pink hair and pink eyes. It'll be interesting. Oliver is the youngest child of our founder, Olivia, and her husband, Don. And Oliver was born just before they aged up to elder. So he is very much younger than Cindy, who was the previous heir. And his niece is Donna. He's younger than Donna, But anyway, we're keeping Oliver and Poppy in this household until they've had a few more children, because they're going to eventually move to Vice City, and there's not many children and babies and teens in Vice City. So I want that game to have a few more of the younger generation. I don't play it for very long at any one time, so I thought if I can get a few babies born and educated here before I move them to Vice City, it could be good. We'll see. It's an experiment. We'll see what happens. Barry and Clara are back in the playroom, and Barry's imaginary friend Doll has gone invisible again. I've briefly pulled Bill back into this household because I want to check where he's up to with his career, and I've discovered he is almost at the top of his career. I reckon the next time he goes to work, he is going to get his lifetime wish. The ongoing issue with the vanishing imaginary friend, I've discovered once they're made live, they live in the homeless Sims household until they are made real. That's why they don't appear in the house as one of the members of the active household. Now, if you remember Craven Lestat that used to be on the forums years ago, well, he once told me that the Simmer set, if you put that in your game, the service Sims and homeless Sims will live in it. So I have placed the Simmer set. I had to add a lot for it, and there it is. It came with late night. The only problem I've ever come across with placing it is if you've got lots and lots of service Sims. They queue up every morning and every evening to get in and out of their accommodation. You can end up with dozens of them living in there. Anyway, I've put it there because at the moment I don't have a homeless Sims household to go looking for that imaginary friend when it goes invisible. But at the moment it hasn't been made live either, and I may never be able to get it to become live. But I thought I'd put the Simmer set in the game just in case, because I probably won't think of it again later on. Now back to the main household. Oliver has just given his little daughter Clara her bottle. He's being a very attentive father sometimes. And I've sent Bill home. I don't need him here at the moment. When he's ready to go to work on Friday, I will activate his household and send him to work, and he should get his refrigerator reward. And then I will install it in his house and save the game, come back into this household and leave Bill and Cindy and Olivia and Don alone across the road in the barn. Oliver and Poppy have been both wishing to have another child, and they've decided to try for baby in the treehouse. We'll see how that goes. I didn't hear any chimes, so I guess they've got to go to their bed and have another go. I thought I'd let you know that I spent quite some time earlier to find new baby music on the YouTube audio library, and I'm using some of what I found in this video. And little Bindy's come out to play with the ball, and that is his diamond dog still sitting in the spot where he reconstructed it earlier. Poppy and Oliver are not letting their failure hold them back. They're taking it in their stride, and they've headed straight for the bedroom. They are determined that they're going to have another baby soon. Eva. I think this house is going to be so full shortly. I'll have to be sending them to Vice City earlier than I'd hoped. So here's another try for baby happening now. And I hear chimes, so she's pregnant. That one worked. And there's another couple in the household who are currently in the baby making business. That would be Clark and Donna. And Donna has decided that it's well past time for them to get pregnant as well. So she has come to her husband to make sure that they have an heir eventually. They're going to have to keep this up until they get a child with her pink hair and pink eyes. Clark seems happy to comply with her request, and off they go. And I hear chimes. They got it right first go. And she's pregnant. And I will live to regret this, having 2 Sims in the one household get pregnant about 2 sim hours apart. Things will go haywire when it comes time for babies to be born. I decided to add a walker to the household and put little Barry in it. He can play there for a while and gain some skill. I think it's his handiness skill that is growing in the walker. Oliver is in the gardening career and he needs to sell his harvestables to be able to advance in that career. And the more money he earns from the sale of vegetables, the faster he will advance in his career. And I'd like him to get close to the top of that career before he has to move to Vice City. And these fruit and veggie stands that came with the Alfresco market venue, I've placed them at the Stone's Throw greenhouse. And he's come here to maybe buy something. He might find something interesting that he's having trouble finding the seeds so he can plant them at home. But mostly he's here to consign some of his harvestables, because when he sells through these humble harvest stands, he makes enormous amounts of money very fast. To buy things from them, though, is not so good because they often get a ripped-off negative moodlet, because they really do get ripped off, the prices that those humble harvest stands, fruit and veggie stands, pay to the Sims that consign produce to them, and they can consign books and fish and anything. I've placed 4 of the stands at the greenhouse, and he consigned some items and purchased some items from each of the 4 stands that he checked out while he was there. It took him ages to work his way through all 4 of the stands, so I didn't show it all to you, cut most of it out. But when he'd finished, I told him to go and collect some suns, because he can make money out of the suns as well. That doesn't go towards his gardening sales, doesn't help with his career. It just goes to household funds. And when he started to pick up the first sun, he noticed that his mother, Olivia, was tending one of the stands. So he stopped collecting suns. He only picked up 4 and he sold them, and he got 1,000 and something simoleons for those 4. Then he went and said hello to his mother. He doesn't see her very often, even though she lives just across the road from him. Meanwhile, back at home, Coco the cat was looking out the window, watching all the cars go by. Maybe she was hoping she might see a bird or something as well. Coco's almost an elder, but not quite just yet. And I've discovered she loves getting into the pet hygienator. In the next room, Poppy just put little Barry into the playpen where he's playing with the abacus. That will improve his logic skill. Next, Poppy brought in little Clara and put her into the playpen with Barry. And this is why I kept Barry a toddler, because I wanted him in the playpen with Clara so they could become friends before he ages up to child. And she can play with the abacus as well. And I tried to stop her from playing with the mirror, but it didn't work, and she learnt to talk. I like to get them to learn to talk from one of the older Sims if possible, but it didn't work out this time. Anyway, she gained the skill, and once they have learned to talk, they can use the mirror to learn the charisma skill. But the thing I like doing is having them play with each other, and that makes them become friends. If they play long enough, they become best friends. I think children can play with them as well by interacting with them. The child stands beside the play pen and interacts with the toddler that's in it, and they can become friends as well, I think. Don't usually do that though. Another benefit of having 2 toddlers in the playpen is their needs stay maxed. They don't get tired or hungry or need their nappy changed while they're both in the playpen together. It's dark outside, and Poppy's decided it's the perfect time to go into the greenhouse and plant a few seeds. I noticed little Bindi was exhausted, and then I realised I hadn't given him a pet bed, and I was feeling very guilty about that, so I went into Bodybug and got him a super swank pet bed, which I then recoloured just especially for him, that he could get from his lifetime happiness points. And I think he's got enough to get the pet bed, but I didn't want to spend his lifetime happiness. I could have given him a bed of some sort to sleep in when we moved into this house days ago now. Poor little Bindi. But he's managed, sleeping on the odd sofa. That's about it. And here comes Clark carrying his baby daughter Diane, and she's about to age up to toddler. And we're going to find out, is she going to be the heir? Will she have the pinkish purple hair and eyes just like her mother? There's Oliver. And now Diane has been carefully placed on the floor, and we'll see her spin into her toddler form. I'm not sure if I'm hoping she will have the correct hair and eye colour or not. But there she goes. Well, she's got pinkish hair, and it doesn't look the same as her mother's, so I don't think she's going to be the heir. I think that hair looks like a cross between her mother's colour and her father's hair colour. You know, sometimes I wonder if these husbands who have married these heirs to get an heir, I wonder if they'll stick around after they've produced an heir for the mother. Because, I wonder, Don stuck around with Olivia and Bill is staying with Cindy, but he does have a girlfriend in Vice City. So I'm not quite sure about Bill. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But little Diane is definitely not the heir. And there's little Bindi in the next room chasing the ball inside. And Coco the cat sitting there meowing at the fish again. I think that's what her favourite thing is to do. There goes the ball, Bindi's after it. And there was 2 birthday cakes, and there's the other one. There's no babies left to age up to toddler, but there is a toddler who's ready to age up to child. So Poppy's brought Barry in and is helping him blow out his candles. And there's his father Clark behind him cheering him on. And his great uncle Oliver, because Oliver is Barry's grandmother, Cindy's younger brother. So that makes Oliver his great uncle. Now let's see what he's like when he grows up, when he ages up. Now I remember that his mother had a wish that he would become a genius. So let's see if he's going to get the genius trait when he ages up to child. Spin into his child form and we'll find out. There he goes. He's been a good boy and he's going to be a genius. Look at that. I haven't had a genius sim for a really long time, so it's going to be fun to see what the difference is when you've got a genius in the house. Let's all go and eat cake again. It looks as if Donna and Poppy are both in their pregnancy outfits again. Barry's going into the next room to eat his cake. Don't know where Poppy's gone. She's headed off somewhere. She probably doesn't want any more cake. May not be feeling very well with her pregnancy, but she's got the Immunity lifetime reward, so she won't get really sick, but she probably just doesn't want to eat cake right now. After his party, Barry got to work learning his childhood skills. First of all, he decided he'd learn to cook, and he spent some time there with the toy oven and managed to get his childhood cooking skill up to level 3. So that was excellent. Meanwhile, in the playroom, the 2 little girls were busy learning their toddler skills. Then they'll be reading their books and learning to talk, walk and potty. Then they'll be able to age up to child. Later, I discovered that little Coco, the cat, was just desperate to scratch. And since that little fig tree came with pets as a cat scratching thing, I thought I'd tell her to go and have a scratch there. And she didn't even get close to it, but she did a lot of damage by the look of it. She certainly got into scratching. That's a self-cleaning litter box there beside it. It's available in by Debug, I think. I certainly hope that she felt a lot better after all of that furious scratching and meowing. Back in the playroom, little Clara has finished her peg box and xylophone training, and now she's reading her books, whereas little Diane has still got some way to go to finish the peg box. I'm not sure if she's done the xylophone yet or not, but she will before she starts reading her books. until Barry had a wish to discover a potion, and so I want him to make all of the potions. He discovered the chemistry tables down in the basement, and he's working hard at discovering all 10 potions. He hasn't learned any yet, but he is a genius and he's pretty good with his logic. He did quite a lot of logic study as a toddler with reading the books and working in the playpen. So he should do pretty well with making all 10 of the potions. He especially wants the imaginary friend metamorphism potion, just in case he comes across his imaginary friend doll again one day. Those dolls tend to go into town and run around and suddenly reappear at some unexpected moment. It could happen after he becomes an adult even. So he may have moved to Vice City before that happens. So he may never come across his imaginary friend doll ever again. I remember one of my early Sims. His doll suddenly turned up at his house when they were both adults. So that was interesting. And I've had imaginary friend dolls track their owners down after vanishing when the owner was a toddler and suddenly return when they were teens. So anything is possible. But he's got to stop now because he has to go to school. This is his first day at school. So that's a big day for him. He doesn't want to miss the bus. Unfortunately, he was so absorbed in his search for a potion that he did almost miss the bus. He made everybody wait for him, and they were not happy. And as the bus drove off with him on board, I spotted a whole lot of magic gnomes in the middle of the road. I don't know how they got off the lot. I've never had that happen before, but I soon dragged them all back home. I found Poppy in the playroom with the toddlers. It was time for little Clara to be potty trained. And Diane is still working on the peg box. She'll get there eventually. Then Donna turned up and she picked up her little Diane and decided to start teaching her how to walk. So the toddlers are definitely learning their toddler skills. Poppy's definitely showing her pregnancy, but Donna isn't yet. And yet they both became pregnant at almost the same time. I think there's 2 sim hours between them. There's Oliver working in the kitchen, and Clark had a wish to improve his charisma skill, and so I bought him that big mirror. I think it's Versailles mirror, and I was hoping it didn't slow the game down, but it seems to be working just fine. I was having problems with the game at one point. It was very sluggish, and then I discovered that both Donna and Clark had inventories full of harvestables. So I got rid of all those harvestables out of their inventories and the game is good now. And here we see that both of the little girls will soon be walking all by themselves, as they've both got a mother who's teaching them to walk right now. The school day has ended. The teens visited the graveyard as a part of their school day, and nobody seems to want to go home. They're all sitting around the graveyard doing their homework. I guess at least they're getting their homework done. That's Connor. He's an imaginary friend made real. His owner was Damien, who is Eunice's twin brother. And here comes Eunice. She seems to be in a hurry. She's going to go and have a chat with her imaginary friend made real, Patsy. Let's hope they've all got their homework done. And here comes Damien from the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. He's got a green t-shirt on. He's going to go fishing in the pond, in the graveyard, during the daytime. If he did it at night, he might catch a death fish, but the only place he'll catch a death fish during the daytime at the moment is in the wishing well. And they have a wishing well in the basement back at home. I don't know if they can catch death fish in the wishing well in the park opposite City Hall. They probably can. I just don't usually send my Sims there to fish. But I know they've caught many death fish back at home in their own wishing well. I wonder where little Barry is. I found Barry. He'd stopped to do his homework before going home. This was his first day at school. He was very keen to get his homework done. I hope this means he's going to be a great student. But he is a genius, so I suppose he'll work it out for himself. Oliver has had an opportunity for a while now to repair the stereo and return it to his father, Don. So I thought, well, that won't be hard. Don just lives straight across the road. He might as well repair it right now. And of course, he didn't go straight across the road. Looks like the little girls have learnt to walk now. So there is Oliver catching a taxi with the stereo to find his father, who has gone out for the night and is enjoying himself. And I thought, how's he going to get that huge stereo home? But then he's a Sim. Why would he have a problem with that? And I really want Oliver to complete that opportunity. So he's tracked his father down, and I've had to tell him again to deliver the stereo because they said hello, but there was no indication that anything had happened to the stereo. And it turns out the stereo was still with Oliver. So after me telling him again to return it to his father, he complied with that request and his opportunity was completed. Now this is getting very close to the end of the video, so I'm hoping you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And if you've got any comments, it'd be really good if you could comment on the video itself, because that could help with YouTube. And I would enjoy seeing your comments there as well. I'm ending the video here now. A baby is about to be born and we don't have time to deal with that at the moment, not in this video. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye for now and happy simming. Back at home, some townie child was playing on their swing set. Not to worry, she had to go home soon after I got this video. Bye bye. See you next time.